$2,000 stimulus check is what we're going to be focusing on in this video, so let's get into it right away. But if you haven't done so yet, or if you happen to be new here, make sure to hit the subscribe button right down below the video so I can keep you updated each and every day with all of this information that is changing every single day. It's a tough time out there right now. It's very confusing with all this information, but I do all the research. I boil it all down into these short videos to help you out in any way that I can, as I know it's very confusing to keep everything straight, and I want to make sure that you're staying tuned with everything going on, so ultimately we can get you as much money and benefits that we possibly can out of these multi-trillion-dollar stimulus packages and all of these other changes that are happening right now. So again, thanks so much for joining me. Subscribe down below, and let's get into this right away. All right, so really quickly before we do, I just want to say that yes, what I'm about to talk about in this video does also pertain to low income, no income, fixed income beneficiaries, including Social Security, retirement, disability, SSDI, survivors, SSI, VA, and RRB. All right, so now that we have that out of the way, I just wanted to make that very clear so that there's no confusion with everything going on. However, as I mentioned in one of my videos yesterday, over the last 10 or so days, there has been a massive influx of all kinds of information that I've been coming across while doing my daily research, talking about additional stimulus checks right here, right now, as we approach the holidays, and pretty much we're within the holiday season, as they call it right now, right? So this is actually a huge good thing for many of us right here in this community that have been calling on additional stimulus checks for literally months and months and months. So it's actually a really good thing to see that there's a massive push right now for additional stimulus checks. Well, as I mentioned in my video yesterday, I was going to be coming back to you and sharing one of the pieces that I found. Now, again, I found a lot of information recently. There's a lot of information, there's a lot of reports, there's a lot of articles, and there are many, many people out there talking about this right now. But I told you I would come back with you and share at least one of the pieces that I found, and this is actually one of the good ones. So I actually want to come back to you and have my wife come in here in just a minute and read that to you, and you can see just one of the many, many pieces that I've been finding out there as of recently. Now, this is actually really good. Now, this all pretty much kicked off about 10 or so days ago, beginning the week of Thanksgiving week, when we started to hear about these $2,000 Thanksgiving Day stimulus checks. Remember that? Well, basically what that turned out to be was just this massive push for additional stimulus checks and calling it the $2,000 Thanksgiving Day stimulus check. That's pretty much what kicked all of this off, and the momentum continues to roll. This is great. We've got to stay on this train, right? So we got to keep riding on this thing. We got to keep the momentum going now that we have many more people also backing this up, helping us out with this movement toward additional stimulus checks and relief for low income and pretty much everybody out there that's struggling right now. So with that being said, I'm going to bring my wife in here in just a second to read this article to you. It's actually pretty good and talks about a lot of different things as far as why stimulus checks are so incredibly badly needed right now. Now, I probably don't need to tell you that because obviously you're living it. You know the situation right now. You know why stimulus checks are needed, but this is on a much larger scale as far as many, many people out there all coming together cumulatively and why these checks are needed for literally millions of Americans right now. It's a really good thing. So one more quick thing I want to say before I bring Corey in. So the article actually starts out by talking about the child tax credit payments. I promise you, after just a few sentences, it gets into talking about stimulus checks. So it starts out by talking about the CTC, the monthly checks, as far as for the child tax credit, but then it transitions quickly into stimulus checks. So basically, they started out by talking about those checks and basically saying, these little checks, the $250 or $300 a month, is simply not enough, and here's why we've got to get into more checks for the American people right now. There's also some indication into the holiday season, which is great because realistically, can lawmakers really deny people more money right now and everything that we need right now right in front of the holidays? I mean, they certainly could, but that wouldn't really look good on their record, right? Also, they cite inflation. There's some really good information in here about inflation and talking about why stimulus checks are needed to offset all this massive inflation. Again, there's a lot of good stuff in this. It's only about 3 minutes long that it takes Corey to read this. So with that being said, I'm going to bring her in. I'm not going to catch you on the other side just because there's not really a need to. I just want to bring this information to you. Hopefully you'll listen to this, and there's some good stuff out there. But again, this is one of the good articles that I found among many others that are out there right now, and I just wanted to share this with you as I said I would yesterday in one of my videos. So again, hit that subscribe button right down below the video so you don't miss anything going forward, as things are changing very rapidly, especially now that the stimulus package is in the Senate right here, right now, and they could literally add anything that they want into it, including stimulus checks if they just so desired, and if they just so had the heart to do so to help people out during this time. Yes, that's a little shot at Congress. Sometimes I literally cannot hold back. You know what I mean? I literally just can't help it sometimes. I have to do it. So anyway, with that being said, enough out of me. Subscribe down below, and I'll be back later with another update, as there's a lot of stuff going on right now. But Corey, take it away, and I'll catch you guys later in the next video. Thanks so much for watching this. Corey, here you go.
Stimulus update. Millions of Americans petition for more stimulus money as inflation takes a toll on finances. By Angelica Leicht. While the expanded child tax credit has proved an extra monthly boost to qualifying families with children since July, families without children continue to struggle. Nearly 3 million people have signed a Change.org petition requesting ongoing stimulus checks until the pandemic is over. Inflation is causing extra strain on bank accounts, especially during the holidays. Over the last several months, families in need of an extra financial boost have benefited from the enhanced child tax credit, which included monthly payments of between $250 to $300 maximum per qualifying dependent. This money, which has landed in millions of mailboxes and bank accounts each month since July, has helped families with children and teenagers to make ends meet at a time when the nation still struggles to recover from the pandemic. But while this money has been essential for households with children, millions of American households without dependents, including those who are still struggling with income losses or other financial problems caused by the pandemic, haven't been as lucky. While some childless households have benefited from the 3 different direct stimulus payments that were issued earlier in the pandemic, it has been several months since the most recent direct payment was issued. And as of late November, there were no plans to issue more stimulus money to Americans in need. The lack of ongoing financial support for millions of households has led lawmakers and regular citizens to call for more widespread financial support to be put into place. Thus far, however, none of the efforts have been successful. But that isn't stopping the push for more stimulus money. In fact, one petition now has millions of supporters who are asking for more stimulus checks. Here's what's driving the push for more money by millions of Americans, and what the petition is asking for. Why does a stimulus petition call for, and why? As of late November, a petition asking for more stimulus checks has been signed by millions of Americans, and the widespread support is due in major part to the rapidly compounding issues with inflation. Over the last several months, inflation has taken a huge toll on the nation's economy, causing rapidly increasing prices and out-of-control costs on everything from gas to gifts, and it's happening right in time for the holidays. As such, experts now suggest that this holiday season could be one of the most expensive in recent history, and with a large portion of the nation still struggling to overcome the effects of the pandemic, it could cause major issues for many, many households.